Well, hello good people, and welcome back to the channel. In just a few moments, you'll get to hear my thoughts and feelings on episode 11 of Naked and Afraid of Love. Yes folks, there is yet another episode in this series that puts 16 singles on a tropical island paradise with the hopes of finding them a love connection, and I finally have confirmation that this is the season finale. So what are my thoughts on this episode as well as the series as a whole? Stay tuned to find out. The episode begins with all three couples arriving at the hotel. We as the audience get to see how these participants are adjusting to life back in civilization. During this time, the participants are shown appreciating the little things in life, such as beds, running water, deodorant, and junk food. Later that night, the participants will be allowed to go on an official date with one another while wearing clothes, which is a big deal. As participants are getting ready, everyone seems to be taking the process seriously. Everyone except Jay, who decides to wear a light blue romper with pineapples on it as the outfit for his first date. Cassoulet always talks about Jay being a man-child, and this was a prime example of it. The first couple to arrive at their date is Candace and Crystal. I must say that both ladies clean up very nicely. During their date, Crystal and Candace talk about their feelings for one another, but during the solo interview, Crystal shares that she doesn't know how deep Candace's level of attraction is for her. As they end their date, it's kind of hard to tell what decision Candace will make on decision day. The next couple to arrive for their date is Jay and Cassoulet. Cassoulet definitely looks stunning with her clothes on and makeup on, while Jay looks the same as he did while he was in the wilderness. During their date, they have a very surface level conversation, but they eventually go deeper. Jay talks about how unsure he is of how his family will react to Cassoulet, and he also discusses how she is the first woman of color he's dated. Cassoulet also talks about Jay being a man-child, which is a repeating theme. Jay and Cassoulet end their date, but they were by far the most affectionate couple during this episode. We then see Michael and Britt meet for their date. The first thing Britt says in her interview is how she admires how Michael is shaved, but she wasn't a fan of his outfit because it looks like it was thrown together. During their date, they have drinks, eat some finger food, and they talk about the Bennett situation from several episodes ago. Britt asks Michael if he views his actions during the situation as controlling, and she shares that jealousy is her biggest turnoff. They butt heads over the situation but ultimately end their date on a happy note. At the conclusion of their date, Britt talks about needing someone who is trustworthy, and Michael talks about feeling that their relationship could work, but they need to fix some things to overcome their obstacles. So we're finally at decision day, and during this day, couples will meet at the departure bay where two boats await them. The couples will meet at the bay, and if they decide to stay together, they will leave on one boat, but if they decide not to stay together, they will leave on separate boats. Jay and Cassoulet are the first to meet, and they decide to stay together. Surprise, surprise. They leave on the same boat, and this decision was definitely expected because there appeared to be genuine chemistry between the two since the process began. The next couple to meet at the departure bay is Michael and Britt. While Michael decided to stay together, Britt dances around the issue and shares that she's not ready to be in a committed relationship. Therefore, she will be leaving on a separate boat. In my opinion, that is some bullshiggity, because Britt was still in her feelings from the Bennett conversation the night before. She tries to smooth things over with Michael by telling him that she would still like to pursue something with him in the real world and try to see if they can work things out. But Britt seems too scared to tell Michael that she just friend-zoned him. And in my opinion, Michael definitely dodged a bullet with this one. Candace and Crystal are the final couple to meet. Before they meet, Crystal has an interview and she is coming off very emotional with thoughts that Candace may not pick her. While I somewhat feel sorry for Crystal, I'm quickly reminded about how she friend-zoned nearly half the guys on the island and didn't care how they felt about it. So if Crystal got friend-zoned by Candace, I would definitely consider it ironic. But that doesn't happen. The moment Candace spots Crystal at the dock, she gives a full-on sprint which appears to be from 100 yards away towards Crystal, and they embrace with a warm hug. They decide to stay together and leave on the same boat. And that's how the episode ends. The next episode is the reunion episode for the season, and by the looks of things, there was more drama and interesting moments in the 20 seconds of the previews than in the entire first season of this show. Overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this episode a 4. While the episode was definitely drawn out, I was genuinely surprised at some of the outcomes of the couple's decision, so the experience wasn't a complete wash. But if you have a few more minutes to spare, then let me talk to you about why I didn't like this season of Naked and Afraid of Love. Over the past 2 months, I've had the opportunity to recap and review all 11 episodes of this season of the show, and my overall honest assessment of the show was that it was a wasted opportunity to do something new and fun with reality TV dating. Now, going into the show, I was eager to watch it because I was a huge fan of the Naked and Afraid series, and I'm a sucker for reality TV dating shows. So it was my understanding that Naked and Afraid of Love would properly merge the two concepts together. But after seeing the first couple of episodes, I quickly learned that the format of the show, along with the editing, made the experience very boring as well as agonizing. And let me say that I don't fault the participants of the show because they did what they could with what they were allowed to do. But the show essentially tried to rely on these participants, most of who were extreme introverts, to make the show entertaining by themselves, and that was the main issue for me. In other reality TV dating shows, the production does its job to keep viewers interested in seeing the show from start to finish, but in this show, the production really didn't do that. When one participant was done with the process, there was nobody else to replace them, and as cast members dwindled down, we as the audience are stuck watching the same recycled storylines being used each episode. So with that being said, there's a lot more that I could say about this show, but I don't regret reviewing it because I got to reach thousands of people on my platform, and I got to share what I thought was the good, the bad, and the ugly of Naked and Afraid of Love. So with that being said, next Sunday I'll be posting my review of the reunion episode of Naked and Afraid of Love, and the following week I'll be posting my pitch for season 2 of Naked and Afraid of Love. And while my pitch may not be perfect, it will definitely share some new and intriguing ideas on how to make the existing concept of the show better. So until next time, stay tuned and stay safe. Peace.